This is so exciting. Ready to take off, kids? Can you hear the engines rumbling?
Wow, it's so loud. How do the engines work, Miss Now? How do they lift this big rocket ship off the ground and take us into space?
Well, that's a great question, Davida. Inside the rocket, there are two big tanks. One is full of fuel, the other full of something called oxidizer, which is just something that contains a type of oxygen. Little droplets of the fuel and oxidizer get pumped into something called a combustion chamber, an empty space inside the engine. This is where the fuel and oxygen mix together. But for the rocket to blast off, the fuel needs to be heated and burned. This is where the electrical sparks come to play. The sparks ignite the fuel, which makes it burn to a really high temperature. When oxygen, fuel and heat from the sparks combine, something called combustion happens. Combustion is basically a fire that creates a lot of gas and energy and heat inside the engine, creating so much pressure and taking up so much space that it has to escape. So it's sped through something called a nozzle and pushed out the bottom of the rocket. With the huge amount of pressure that escapes, the rocket lifts off the ground and blasts into space. Up and up and up and away we go. So are you ready? Let's start the countdown.
10, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. We have liftoff.